Hello there guys, SonOfChelsea back here again for another edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. Hope you're having a good start to your week. I didn't expect to be making this video today, especially about this, the seriousness of this. Of course it developed yesterday, unless you've been living under a rock. Of course the European Super League, as it's been called, it grew yesterday, the story about a lot of the big clubs in England and across Europe breaking away. And then late last night, it got sort of announced by a ton of clubs. One of those clubs were Chelsea, and we all knew Chelsea were involved. Of course, there was a ton of reaction yesterday to it, and even more today. I mean, I can imagine whilst you're watching this video, there's tons of other stuff being leaked and being released because it is such a fast-moving story that's, I think, going to have great repercussions. I can't say I'm surprised because we all knew this was coming, or it has been in the works behind the scenes for years, rumoured, the European Super League, of the big clubs wanting to break away from the Champions League. You know, I was on this channel October, November time speaking about Project Big Picture, if you remember that, and a very similar sentiment to what's being discussed right now. And Chelsea officially announcing it last night, the proposal, the fact this is the furthest it's ever got, but the overwhelming response and rejection to it, I think, is heartwarming. You know, the unity within, I think, football fans overwhelmingly to reject this absolutely terrible idea, I think, is something that is, of course, positive. And the fact that, I mean, this proposal from these clubs have united everyone, it seems like. I mean, if their mission was to unite all football against them, they've pretty much succeeded. So, of course, we see the statement was released last night. 12 of Europe's leading football clubs have today come together to announce they have agreed to establish a new midweek competition, the Super League, governed by its founding clubs. These founding clubs are AC Milan, Arsenal, Atlético Madrid, Chelsea, Barcelona, Inter, Juve, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Real Madrid and Tottenham have all joined as founding clubs. It's anticipated that a further 3 clubs will join ahead of the inaugural season, which is intended to commence as soon as possible. So I think that some reports saying today it could be as early as August. They're hoping to get this going. But then, of course, it was rejected. Firstly, the Chelsea Supporters Trust, which I'm an affiliate member to, released 2 statements yesterday. One of them was when the rumours came out. The second one was when Chelsea officially announced it. This is what they had to say. Great statement by Chelsea Supporters Trust. And if you can, please join as a member. It's probably the most important time to join as a member for Supporters Trust across the country, wherever your club is, to really get the voice of supporters being heard right now, because it's very important. But this is what they had to say on the announcement. They say expect the unexpected, but today the Chelsea Supporters Trust, our members and football supporters across the world, have experienced the ultimate betrayal. CFC, along with 11 of the top European sides, have announced their intention to establish a Super League. This is a decision of greed to line the pockets of those at the top, and it has been made with no consideration for the loyal supporters, our history, our future, or the future of football in this country. It is likely that this proposal will never come into existence. However, it speaks volumes that CFC are prepared to risk our existence in the Premier League and FA Cup. The Chelsea Supporters Trust have held extensive talks with Chelsea over the past few weeks regarding various issues, and there have been no mention of this secretive proposal. The Chelsea Supporters Trust and its members demand answers. This is unforgivable. Enough is enough. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of this country, also responding, plans for a European Super League would be very damaging for football, and we support football authorities in taking action. They would strike at the heart of the domestic game and will concern fans across the country. He also said that, you know, clubs need to answer to their fans and their communities. I felt Matt Law really wrote a great tweet about this too. Football should laugh in the faces of the supposed Big Six when they talk about missing fans and wanting fans back after the pandemic. They have proved once again that the fans are very much bottom on their list of priorities. So much to go into. I mean, what Gary Neville said yesterday, I think, is probably the best response to it, given his platform, given how people respect him in his country. I think he was spot on yesterday and sort of echoing the feelings of many fans. The circus continues, as was the banner outside Stamford Bridge back in January. I mean, I felt that the video I made back in January would be the worst video I had to make this year. I'm quite clearly wrong, because everything beyond this point, until this situation is resolved, feels a little bit irrelevant to me. Transfer news, even the games Chelsea are playing at the moment. It's disgusting. I am ashamed of my club. I am ashamed of Chelsea Football Club, and I hate saying that because, a year ago, you can go and find the video where Chelsea were helping out the local community during the first lockdown. That was a moment when Roman was investing, giving the stadium to the NHS, to key workers, not furloughing any staff. What the club did back then made, I think, a lot of Chelsea fans proud to be Chelsea fans for what the club was representing, for being a great source of, I guess, hope and positivity during a very difficult time. Doing the right thing in a position of privilege was Roman at that time, as he has continued to do. And that means as much to me as what happened on Saturday. That means as much as any trophy we win, because football clubs are not just what happens on a Saturday. It's not just about the result. Football clubs are much deeper than that. They mean a lot to their communities. They mean a lot to the cities they're in, to what it means to support those clubs, for people's identities. And this goes not only a betrayal of that, but just a betrayal of sporting integrity, just on a basic level. I mean, I don't quite grasp arguments I've seen from supposed football fans calling this an evolution, evolving, the strong evolving above everyone else. This is not evolving. This is cowardly behaviour, to run away from competition because clubs are fearful of losing. That's the first thing, making it a closed shop. I mean, I've seen some people bring up, the Premier League and sort of comparing it to the European Super League. I mean, the Premier League, for all its faults and all the faults you can pin at UEFA and FIFA and, of course, the Premier League and the FA, not a closed shop. And the voting rights are very much shared equally. That was why the reaction to Project Big Picture was so strong and unified back in October, because of the awful entitled idea that came with it. Football clubs are not just a business, and I feel there are people within Chelsea, people within a lot of these big clubs who want to turn their clubs, and have tried to over recent years, turn it into Starbucks, turn it into Apple, turn it into McDonald's. This would succeed in doing that because it would make all sporting integrity basically irrelevant. It would null and void what it would mean to support the club for me, in terms of what it would mean to watch this, basically a glorified pre-season friendly tournament throughout the whole year. The reason why the Champions League, and just take a couple of weeks time when we face Real Madrid, the reason why that means so much and is so unique, because we haven't played Real Madrid since 1998. We don't play Real Madrid every season. There are stakes, there are jeopardy, there is a narrative to football that, just on a very basic level, that's why people engage with it so much. The fact that Chelsea can be absolutely battered by an almost relegated West Brom. That's what makes the Premier League so unique. Leicester winning the Premier League title in 2015-16. An incredible story. The incredible stories when Wigan, who were already relegated, won the FA Cup over Man City back in 2013. Carlisle have a right to exist just as much as Chelsea do. AFC Wimbledon, Brentford, Plymouth, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, Derby. There is a sense of entitlement from these top clubs that's just absolutely disgusting, and Chelsea are one of them. Given the fact that Chelsea were almost, and have been several times in our history, on the brink of extinction, and it's a disrespect to the history of the club, the supporters of the club, in a year that has not only been difficult watching football, but of course beyond that, and football has been of some salvation to people during these difficult times, but football has been a pale imitation of the sport before it, in terms of no supporters. It has been a difficult watch. It has been a difficult experience watching football without supporters, without its key ingredient, without the thing that matters. And you felt like in this year of all years, the phrase, which may have been demeaned before, of football without fans is nothing, you felt the penny would have dropped, but clearly it doesn't. And the tone of this press release by all of the clubs, they're living in a different reality. And even if it does get shot down, which I think it will, you should be concerned. You should be ashamed. You should be angry at the club that they want to go forward with this, for what it would mean for the future of our game in this country, the pyramid that I think so many people are proud of in the English game. But beyond that, across Europe and the game that we love, and the jeopardy, the stakes, the narrative. When Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012, Chelsea had to fight so hard for that. Despite all the investment we had, it took us a long time to win that title in 2012. All of that becomes irrelevant to me. I'm seeing transfer links to players in the summer today. All relevant, because if the sporting integrity is it's a closed shop, and there are no jeopardy, there is no stakes to things going on. The reason why Chelsea, at the moment with the top four race, and I'm fully behind us getting docked points for this, absolutely, because it's quite clear by the intention of our hierarchy that they don't really care that much about the Champions League, or at least the value of it. despite all of us apparently needing Champions League football each season. As Gary Neville suggested, I think all of the top clubs should be punished for this, because if they're not, this is just getting kicked further into the future for me. These clubs will just feel further incentive if they don't get punished to do it again. And it feels like every single year it gets closer and closer and closer. This is the closest it's ever been. This is the first time clubs have officially announced it and actually announced a plan. It's horrible, it really is, to speak about. I know what you guys, I'm sure, will be angry about it. I hope you're angry about it, because, I think all football fans should be, because, and this is the thing I'll leave on today in terms of speaking about this, football clubs mean much more than just what happens on a Saturday. It means much more than winning and losing. There's a reason why people love their football club for very, very different reasons across the globe, and support clubs like Chelsea. It's your family, it's your friends, it's, watching a goal on TV as a 5-year-old, or being in the stadium as a 5-year-old and falling in love with the club. There is deeper meanings to football clubs. And the sad thing is, more and more, even people who are supposedly football fans treat football clubs like disposable Netflix series. And, if you're someone who has that mentality, that doesn't really care about deeper meaning for football clubs and what they mean to their communities and their people and their history and what they mean to their city and their deeper responsibility within their local communities, then I'm sure the European Super League, or as I like to call it, the franchise league, is right down your alley, because, it saps all meaning and purpose and sporting integrity out of that. Everything that makes football what it is and what it is to love this game. It's disgusting, and I think it makes it even harder in the current moment when fans haven't been at stadiums, and you can only imagine if there are full capacities at the moment. Maybe that's why they've done it, because they know there won't be a vocal reaction inside stadiums. But I think the good thing is everyone's sort of united behind this. If you love the game, you're clearly against this. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. Shame to be a Chelsea fan today. I'll probably be doing my preview for Brighton, but and probably doing other news videos this week. But everything feels a little bit, just quite a bit below this for me at the moment. Give me your thoughts on this in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. As you can tell, not in the best mood today, and I don't think any football fan will be today based on this news. And yeah, I'll see you again.